Hey guys, my name's Shaun Redfern, and when I was 12 or 13, I was a full-blown porn addict. In high school, I was bullied and picked on, and I used to swear at people, I used to threaten to kill them and kill myself, and I treated my parents like crap and my two sisters and my brother. I was a full-blown porn addict, and I pretty much looked at that every single day. Because that was just what I watched and what I went to deal with the fact that I was getting bullied all through high school. And I only did up to grade 11, I think 2 weeks into it. And they basically gave me 3 options. It was get expelled, get suspended, or do a pre-vocational, which I did in painting and decorating. And I used to think that I would never amount to anything or achieve anything. But the year after I did the painting and decorating, because it just wasn't for me, I didn't want to do it. I went back to the same TAFE and actually got my diploma in multimedia. And although I didn't get a job in multimedia, it was so good because I actually achieved something that I never thought I would. But then in 2009, first night of Life Massive, which was a youth group at the time, after constant invitations from my sister and at that time her boyfriend, I eventually said yes. I felt so free because I made so many friends that night, and although I didn't really keep in contact with them, or my friendship with them didn't really blossom, or we didn't become really good friends, it was so good just to see the fact that Jesus could make a difference in your life. And I still struggle with pornography, and in 2009 I started writing a book called I Am an Overcomer. But because of the shame and the stigma associated with pornography addiction, I stopped writing it. And I stopped writing it because shame makes you feel like you're worthless, and if you feel worthless, you feel useless. You feel like Jesus can't change your life because you feel like you're the only one that's struggling. And so for 6 years, I stopped writing this book. And it wasn't until this year that God really called me back to it. And I stopped studying something that would significantly change my life financially. And it was only because I finally decided that enough was enough, and I was going to do what God had called me to do, instead of studying something that was going to get me a good job, and I was going to be financially stable. And I went back to the calling that God had called me to. I think it's so important to remind yourself that just because it's not as bad as it used to be, it's still an addiction and it's still a giant. But you have to also understand that your struggle and your addiction does not dictate your purpose or potential, because God has a purpose and potential for your life that's bigger than what you're going through. There's no giant too big and no giant too small that can knock you out and knock you down and dictate the love that God has for you, because you can wake up every single morning and every single night and you can still understand and still realize and know that God loves you. And for so long, man, I struggled with having no self-esteem and no self-worth, and that was my life, that was my existence. I existed in the fact that I thought that I had nothing to live for, I had no purpose, no potential, and I had no self-esteem and no self-worth, and I constantly sabotaged the fact that God wanted me to live a bigger life. But I'm only here today because of God's grace, and I guess my testimony is the fact that Jesus has never given up on me, so I never gave up on him. I never gave up on him because I know for a fact that he solidified my purpose by solidifying my potential. One of my pastors always says often, who you hang around is who you become, and what you believe is what you become. So if you believe that you're worthless and that you're useless, you'll constantly hang around people that feel the same way as you, because you're too scared and too small in your mindset to ever change your life. Yeah, your life is never going to change if you don't give God a go and you don't say yes to Jesus, and at least try church out and try God out for yourself. And it seems like these days we live in a bandwagon opinion generation where people just believe other people's opinion, especially if they've had a bad experience with church. Most people often live their life and the entirety of their existence existing in other people's experience and never having their own. So, a lot of people don't go to church because one of their friends had a bad experience, so they don't go. Or a lot of people don't go to church because they just, they just don't believe everything they hear at church, which is fair enough. I mean, we're meant to have our own opinion. But my point is, my life changed because I gave God a chance. And I think the most significant thing that you could ever do with your life is say yes to Jesus, because He's the only one that can really change your life. You can try in your own strength to do it, but at the end of the day, He's the only one that can change it. And the best decision that I ever made was saying yes to Jesus in 2009. And at the end of the day, I still struggle with pornography addiction and masturbation. And I'm not an addict. I'm not my struggle or my season or my circumstance. I am a son of God and you are a daughter of God. And your life can change, but only if you give Him a shot and a chance to change it. And at the end of the day, I personally believe that you're always going to struggle unless you do so. But that's my testimony and that's my story, and no one can poke holes in it.
I think one of the bravest things you can do is share your testimony, especially a testimony like that. Shaun has been a best friend of mine for many years, and to hear his story of transformation and the wisdom that he has and the knowledge that he has of God and God's love and grace in his life is something that I've learnt a lot from. If you would like to follow Shaun on his YouTube channel, and where he does spoken word videos as well and cool music videos, then the link is right there next to his face, as well as the link and name of his Instagram page. And also there's a few links to my Facebook page and Instagram and even Snapchat. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you.